Hello everyone, just a quick reminder, you can now support us on Patreon. You can get this show and all our shows a day early, and lots of other goodies by supporting us. If you like what we do, and you want to see us do more, you can find us at patreon.com/StudioOmegaYT. Thanks for your time, guys. Hey everybody, just want to remind you before we get started that this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Miruru. Thanks for your support, guys.
Thank you.
喜べ少年.
That's right, everybody, it's time once again for Let's Talk Fate Grand Order, your one-stop shop for all Fate Grand Order needs. Mostly food, apparently. Do you need meat buns? Do you need peaches? Pills of immortality? I think we get some in the back.
Right now, I think I need dinner. Hungry now.
I am one of your hosts, the great sage, unparalleled under heaven, but you may call me Omega. With me, as always, is my co-host. He is the Buddha of waifuism merit, but you can just call him Lucky.
I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka, it's not the story you know, but still the story you love. And while we here at Studio Omega are trying to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we do need to say that we will be talking about current and future details for both JP and Ian versions of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should just go west and collect scriptures.
Yes, that is what we are all about tonight. We are 100% about going west. And now, you would think last week we were 100% about going west, but we weren't actually. That was in like the last 30 minutes, or something. But as always, let's ask the most important question. Where the fuck is Ron?
Not making a goddamn character, that's what. We finally got the ball rolling on a tabletop RPG.
Yeah, and he's the last holdout. So look forward to that content soon on the channel, because I remember when we used to make actual plays, aka I used to run games. It'll be good. It'll be great for everybody. We got 2 player characters made so far and 1 lagging, and then I got a 3rd guy. I don't know if he's in. But
you never know. We'll poke him.
We'll poke him again. Oh, hey, 3 people's not bad. But let's really quick check in with everybody's favorite Kohai Mesh for our regular tips and tricks.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, it's time for Wake the Fuck Up, Senpai, our regular segment for Pro Tips. So, this is some original research news nonsense here.
Mm-hmm.
So, we don't know how this works exactly, but as far as we can tell, based on anecdotal evidence and rigorous scientific testing done by our own Lucky and several of our Discord members, when someone logs into FGO or communicates with the server, it seems to send their support icons to the top of your support list. Somewhat. It's not a one-to-one, but it does definitely seem to be relevant. And that's even if you don't sort by login. And maybe sorting by login changes that, so it's just how it's percolated other places, we're not sure. But yeah, basically, if you can yell at your FGO friends to actually log in or talk to the server, it does seem like their choices pop up first, and then when you hit refresh, it just randomly picks people.
Yeah, basically this came about from Burn Senpai asking to use my Atalanta, so I would just log in, and boom, she appear at the top, so we're not exactly sure if this works 100% of the time, as we said, but it seems mostly reliable.
It does seem to be consistent in that there is a thing.
Yeah.
How and why that thing happens, we don't know. It's our best until we get quality of life updates, and then, oh my god, there's a terrible mob with pitchforks. They're coming after me. I said the magic word. We might talk about that a little in free talk later. But hey, let's move into Records from the Throne real quick.
Alright, well, I got my one. I pulled me a Sanzo, and I didn't even have to spend money for once. On the flip side, though, I got cock-blocked by materials again because I have no Phoenix feathers. I was not able to get them. I'm not able to get them through Rashomon, so I was kind of SOL'd at the moment.
Also, I was going to say, I'm going to guess you don't have any cookies either for skills.
Nope.
Which is a terrible shame.
Well, the skills in the
as
freaking
discussed with our wanted video on Sanzo, that NP chart is fucking amazing. Watch Let's Talk Fate Grand Order Wanted Sanzo. Join literally hundreds of other people. It's my state whisper. Also, blatantly referencing another video we made, which is shockingly popular. I released a bonus video of me rolling for Sanzo, hey, guess what? I'm gonna ruin it. I didn't get her, but some other stuff happened, which is kind of comical. I gotta be honest, not really. I mean, it hurts a little bit, like a lot of pulls hurt, but it didn't hurt super bad because I got at least one copy of Somebody Fire right away, which has a Mordred on it, so I'm fine. Inside, it warms my heart, literally. I'm just disappointed that I did 4 rolls with my quartz, and the last roll was just disappointing. Nothing. It wasn't like abysmal, like a crushing failure, but it wasn't like anything notable at all either. It was just bland. So I'm like, oh, as an entertainer, that kind of sucks.
You'd like to start with a bang or go out with a bang.
As seen when I streamed, boom, start big. They do chat replay now, so you can probably see Lucky freaking out when that happens. I also think I captured the chat rolling by.
I started recording BioShock Remastered, and in my second hour, during a loading screen, I actually pulled up FGO and did all my ticket pools. I didn't get anything, but that's the closest you're going to get to me from a roll video, is me rolling for it on another game while I'm waiting at a load-up screen.
Until you guys buy enough shirts that Lucky can buy a new phone. Buy shirts. All hail the glow cloud. There's an ironic statement for you, but hey, welcome to Night Vale real good. It's just they make a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't ever had the time in my life to catch up on all of it.
Nope.
But alright, let's move into Skelograms. Just some Japanese news this week, because guess what? A new event launched in NA a couple days ago, so hey, there's no new news yet. I mean, we're a few days away from the English premiere of Heaven's Feel. Pretty sure, because they keep tweeting about it.
Yep.
So, that's the thing, but otherwise, yeah, not a lot of news. There's a live stream set for 6.6 in Japan. It will talk about Extella Link and also a new event. There's a pretty prominent guest list. And not just people directly involved in Extella Link, but, like, big names. Most tellingly, Rin's voice actress is on the list, and there are no Rins involved in Extella Link, unless there is, and that's the big drop they're going to have on us, because technically there is an extra Rin, but yeah, no, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping for a big announcement. Bleh.
Bleh.
A big event announcement. I can speak English.
Sure.
Also, 13 million downloads. Holy shit. I mean, I think people were pretty good at calling that this was coming, but goddamn, still. Yeah. A lot of fucking downloads.
That game is popular.
We're gonna... I think everybody's calling that the upcoming Hawk Banner and event, multi-thing will be 3 million in the US. So, yeah, no. Hoo boy. So, usual week of goodies, presents. Looks like it only goes to 10 each, so like 10 tickets, 10 total sync ports, I think. 10 XPs. But still, good. Get some interesting servant bonuses. So, you have double friend points for support, double chance of great and super success, and half QP on leveling servant and CEs. Not skills, ascensions, costumes, any of that. Just raw leveling is half QP. But, that's very interesting that that's universal. Also, we've pseudo-increased... Go ahead, Lucky.
I think they're gearing up for the next chapter drop.
That will be a little soon, because the last chapter was only April.
Yeah.
Usually there's like a 3-month. But they may also be gearing up for like a big challenge event or something, which will have like minimum requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So pseudo increase of bunch of items in Vinci Shop. It's not a full doubling, but definitely an increase. So there's like in addition to the normal 5 tickets for the month, there's an extra 5 tickets. There's like 5 extra EXPs, etc. I think Japan is permanently on half AP for all Part 1 story. That is just an ongoing event that is always happening. But they've doubled that to quarter AP on all story.
Wow.
So yeah. And then, of course, the summoning campaign, the big draw of a lot of these a lot of these million download events. And it's a doozy. It's basically the original Summer Part 1 banner. Tomo Lancer, Summer Anne and Mary, Kiyohime, and Mordred return along with all the appropriate summer CEs. So, given that there's not going to be a rerun of this summer banner normally this year, this is a big deal that they are busting out seasonal servants again in a million downloads banner, which is a great sign.
It could potentially be the last chance. Who knows?
Who knows? And as always, obviously, Lucky is heartened because Mortamo Lancer, but this guy is just thinking, yes, another chance to roll Summer Bulls.
Ooh.
All the chances I can get, because 4-stars still hate me most of the time. I feel it. I'm gonna, somehow, even though Lucky's gonna spend, like, a whole, shitload of money, and he's gonna do it in the middle of the night while I'm asleep, somehow I'm gonna roll Mortamo Lancer before him, and no Summer Mordreds, and I'm gonna have to temper my expectations. Because I can't be too upset, because Lucky will be upset that I'm upset, but I feel it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Also, Hunting Quest number 4 has launched for Japan. Currently, first was Skeletons for Bones. Second was Lamia for Snake Jewels. Third was Wyverns and Hydras for Fangs and Dragon Fangs and Godly Wine. And then fourth was Black Samurai and Chimeras for Magatama and Chaos Claws or Talons. And I don't know what the rest of them are. There's it's a whole week, so there's 3 or so left, I think. But they're not announced yet. It's like strengthening quests. They like to hide it. So yeah, 13 million.
Good time.
Alright, let's move into free talk. Because we got a couple of bullet points here. So first of all, it's June now. MOAR May is over. It's done. It's finito. It's never coming back, unless it does. So how did MOAR May work out? Honestly, I would call it a success, technically. We got over 300 subs. We actually got quite a few past that. Thanks to everybody who got in there in that last couple, those last few before 300.
Mm-hmm.
I know at least one person was like, oh, I ended up being 301. So that's cool. I think our next big push is 500. That's when I've said that I'm going to do a face reveal stream. And possibly I will start generally streaming with my face in general. Or at least recording with it, maybe. I have to shave more if we do that. And obviously, the biggest push is for 1,000, because then we can get our YouTube partnership back and supplement our various forms with official YouTube monetization, which would be helpful, considering that's kind of why we did MOAR May. We did technically get more patrons. We've had some wiggliness in the amount of money, so not for sure we can say that we're making more money yet. And remember, if we get to $100 a month, we're going to start doing dramatic readings of Lucky Rants. I swear to God, I will do this. If I gotta go out there and I gotta make him do it.
Oh, God.
The only thing I don't think we did more of was sell merch, which is kind of a shame because we made a promo code and everything, which no longer works. It's expired. I deliberately set it up that way. But yeah, no, we tried. We did more videos. We started rolling out Lucky Plays, which are decently received. As always, there's a little bit of drop off on later videos, but, your back catalog can circulate.
Mm-hmm.
Because God knows, I have checked some of our older videos and been like, when the fuck did this get, over 50 or over 100 views? So, you never know. And obviously, it's a learning experience for everyone.
Yep.
Also,
as I said, I've been rolling out Terraria and now Bioshock, and I'm getting a little bit of feedback, so hoping to improve.
Yeah, I think the first Bioshock went public today as we record this.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're listening to this, then you're a patron. So hopefully you're if you're early video access the same day the same-ish day, maybe, depending on how time zones work out. Terraria number 5 should be up, and definitely if you're watching this public the next day, Terraria 5 should, I think. Programming is hard sometimes, guys. And obviously look out for Let's Play FGOs going through the Coming to the West event. And other stuff. Because I think it was it I think I ended up doing 3 total Wanted videos all during May.
Yeah.
All of which have been well received.
Because you did Kentucky, Shootin', and
yeah, Sanzo, just before this one launched. Yeah, so yeah. Those are a new type of video that are pretty popular. Some other attempts I've made at new videos didn't work out, but hey, we're still trying, like I said. Yeah. Speaking of a new month, especially given how popular that topic was, do remember, if you were at the $5 or higher level patron, you can vote in our monthly topic poll. We've got one of those running right now. We got a couple votes in, so there's a couple more people who can vote, and obviously, if you sign up, you can also vote. And that's to determine basically our next Teach Me Omega Sensei. We got a couple choices in there. And that'll be a lot like our rarity talk we did. I don't think that's anything business-wise to talk about with MOAR May. So let's move into Journey to the West initial impressions. Because as always, it's a new event. We like to talk about those.
Are you guys playing right now? I am.
I'm not, but that's usually because I need to focus on the show notes to make sure the show keeps moving forward. This is Let's Talk, not Let's Play, technically. So, yeah, I just put a couple talking points for me down. Number 1, welcome to the grind? Question mark? Which I said because on the one hand, I kind of get how this event is grindy, because obviously you have to run farming missions over and over again to unlock story and stuff. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like it. Like, compared to Rashomon, it does not feel like a serious challenge. It's more like, oh, I gotta run this quest again with those guys, and obviously, because event servers are involved, there's a little bit of a team comp wonkiness. I cannot necessarily just steamroll everybody if I want to actually get drops, if I want to efficiently use my AP.
I think, well, that's one of the reasons why, is because, for one, we're back to using AP, and second up, HP totals, like, I'm not, like, super far. I just got to the part with Mordred, so I'm farming that mission. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at enemies with, just 12k hit points.
Yeah, even Mordred herself is the final wave boss. She's at, like, 100k. 100?
And you're just like, oh.
Well, I don't have bonus damage. On the other hand, I do have a David. I do have a
So it's just a moment of, it's grindy, but because we're literally just coming out of Rashomon, like, the scale has been pulled back significantly.
Yeah, I'm presuming more of the grinding aspect comes in Part 2, because that's basically like, okay, none of the stuff you did before Part 2 starts counts, so now you gotta basically grind the event twice over 2 weeks, kinda. But it still doesn't feel that bad, and we get shitloads of extra bonuses for, like, giant lotuses and stuff, too, so...
Oh, yeah. Right?
I mean, if I wanted to 100% clear out the store, that's probably where the real hell comes in, but I'm not that way. I mean, I want to get some more gold EXPs, because I've got a few servants who are in the event who I want to round out. Like, I want to top off Setheno and David. Mostly David, but Setheno's a higher level, technically, so I'll probably finish her first, because Setheno's just awful. All the bosses are women. It's terrible.
I don't know about you, but Setheno, Medusa, and Urale have just been my back row. They just stay there, and I think it's great.
I mean, it's funny.
Like, earlier, I gave them all. I gave them all. What's the name of their CE?
All 3 forms.
All 3 together.
All 3 together.
Something like that. I just put that on all of them, and I'm just like,
yeah.
It makes me happy.
But yeah, no. For purposes of actually fighting things, Setheno's not great.
No, not.
I realized earlier she has 3 quick cards, and I'm like, oh, ew. What is wrong with you, Setheno? I mean, like, if she had her rank up, which is basically her 3rd skill is a charisma for just divine servants, sure, maybe. Maybe, like, especially with her other sisters, that would be a thing. Because your rally hits a little weakly if you're not doing bonus damage, but just... Setheno doesn't do good damage by herself, and her, like I said, her NP is useless on most people so far. Like I said, all the bosses so far are female, and they're gonna keep being female. Which means that, oh man, Smile of Setheno is useless. No stun, no instant
Y'all
death.
need some defense down? That's what you're getting.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that's always, like, I'm looking at it like, eh. Meanwhile, David, I'm like, I really should have given you more levels. You are very useful.
Oh, there goes Nightingale.
Rip. But yeah, so like I said, the grinding part doesn't seem super grindy yet, but I'm not super interested in finishing the... Not super interested in finishing out the store. I mean, I have 0 bones right now, so I'm gonna run I think that's meat buns, to get some fucking bones. Because like I said, I have 0. That's bad. That's real bad. And there's some other mats in there that I could use a few of. And of course, skill cookies are in there. We always say, get your skill cookies, especially the blue ones, because sometimes those can be hard to come by.
Yeah, they are for some odd reason.
It's because they only drop on super weak enemies, so if you're not deliberately farming them, they can be rarer. So just, story impressions. Story's good. It's funny. Sanzo is a precious. Like I said, that's why it hurts me a little bit. I haven't rolled her yet, but plenty of time. Plenty of read-ups. But just... she's an interesting character in that obviously she is a good-hearted person, but at the same time, she's got a kind of naivete about her, which I'm pretty sure is 100% fitting to the original story. So,
Yep.
Like, just, lots of casual stuff going on. It's like, you're surprisingly open-minded about this.
I haven't fully read, like, Journey to the West, but what I read about it, man, a lot of people try to trick the priest. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Also, one thing I do believe is accurate is the way demons just literally jump out of everywhere. I love that effect in that one story quest that happens where suddenly you're minding your business and just swoosh, like the monster silhouettes scoot in behind you and you're like, oh, we're surrounded. And I'm like, yep, sounds about right. Also, Sansa is friendly to Mordred, so I must have her so she can join Team Moboy. Also, Lucky, you didn't get to this part yet, but there's some fire mountains, and Helena blew up a volcano with her UFO.
I'm like 100 talismans from that.
Hey, just you already got. I assume you got the meat bun one first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just run number and see if you can borrow a friend's Li Shuwen, which you probably can't because I feel like most people haven't actually switched their servants for this event, just the CEs.
Yeah, I still have a couple people who still have Rashomon CEs on their supports, and I'm just kind of like,
no, before Rashomon ended, I had my support set up ready for this event, and then I just plugged in CEs appropriately.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's fun, kind of seeing this weird, it was a colorful folklorish tale before, and now you're adding Fate being slightly goofier.
Mm-hmm.
I think specifically Nasu being goofier because, I think what happened was Sanzo was just going to get like a trial quest type release, and then he turned it into an event. Which is not surprising because Nasu is apparently a long writer. Like, when writing the Babylonia chapter that's going to come out later, it was like hundreds of pages. So yeah. I'm lucky you wrote down some relevant thoughts.
So, I just wrote a few things here myself. Basically, this event is literally the inverse to Rashomon. I'm not saying that Rashomon didn't have story, but it was very story light, very focused on just a particular moment in a particular time, but very mechanics heavy. Now you can say that
about Rashomon, I will say as a comparison, I did quote unquote Let's Plays for that, where I did the thing where you go into my room and I recorded the story. I literally had to wait several days for 2 or 3 of those to stack up, so I would have a video that lasted longer than a minute.
Yeah,
because some of those story segments are very short.
They're very short. They're detail rich. You learn about specific, you learn some things, and it has its moments because everyone loves a drunk mash. Everyone, I don't care what anyone says, you do. But mechanics were very heavy. Like, you have a new system of BP, you have the raid mechanic, you have all these different. You're fighting only one enemy, but they will change their mechanics. They'll change their HP, all that crazy stuff. It was very deep for an event. And then we come over here to Journey to the West, where it's literally the same old FGO we all know and love. It's like you're going to be fighting like 3 waves, usually 3 enemies. You'll get some drops, you spend those drops. You spend your AP. Hell, guess what? Here's some apples. But the story is real good. Like, I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but honestly, I think this is some of the best writing for events I've seen.
And obviously, if that's coming through, that means it's a very good writing through the localization also.
Yeah. Because, the story seems quite simple. You get a real sense of all the characters. The meta jokes are amazing. Because, of course, I'm pretty sure everyone has gotten to, Goldhorn and Silverhorn. And then when they bring out Bronzehorn, you're like, you kind of saw this was coming, but it was still just kind of like, oh my god, I can't even.
Right, because as far as I understand, Bronzehorn isn't a character in Journey to the West. It was supposed to be just Gold and Silver, but you saw Gold and Silver and you're like, they're going to do the thing.
And they did the thing. And it was still great.
Oh, poor Medusa.
And it's and the constant callbacks to the actual story Journey to the West and how the servants are more akin to actors. Because this is the great thing. All the servants know they're not actually these people. They're just playing the role. Or why they're doing it, no one knows. But I think that's interesting in itself.
And specifically, you, as the player character, have been assigned the role of Sun Wukong. Yeah.
Also, I didn't write this in my notes, but I'm really liking Li Shuwen in this event. Like, how because he's like Alexander in the fact that, Alexander really liked the Iliad. Li Shuwen really liked Journey to the West, so he's like super stoked and hyped to be along on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
David's just being a pig,
Oink.
Literal and metaphorical.
I love I love that dialogue when he's like, "Hey, lovely lady." I'm like, your dialogue options are both like, "Hey, bro, you know she's technically a nun, right?" Shit.
And so, like, they're doing story-wise, it's a lot deeper than it feels. It feels like there's a lot of characterization in here. Super nice. I'm really like, the grinding is a bit of a pain because, as I said, I'm trying to get 200 Talisman seals like right now. So it takes a bit, but like the thought of seeing what happens next in the story is something that's driving me, and I think that's really important to an event like this. Is what you need. You want some people invested in the story too.
Well, yeah, because the amount of talismans you need goes up until I think it hits 200 each time. Hopefully, it doesn't go higher than 200. But so you need more investment, even if you unlock quests with higher drops. You still need to put more effort into unlocking the next step. Yeah. So you have to really want it.
We know that the rerun of the servant would give most bonus servants, but it's disappointing that we couldn't have them. This is in part that many of the servants just haven't come out yet. I can only think of 2 of them at the moment. It was the ninja and the Chinese empress. I can't think of their name. And there was other ones like Waver is in there, was in the rerun too. But I
think Waver is the only one we have.
Yeah. This is in part that many of the servants just haven't come out, and I also think they just want us to have the mostly original flavor.
Yeah, so there's been some concern with how, like we said, how the server has been run lately, but I think they won some people back by announcing there would be certain quality of life updates, like the increases in drops for the event and so on. But yeah, this is clearly we want you to have the quote-unquote authentic experience, because, like, for instance, they didn't go full quality of life on the Rashomon event, even though they'd already had it rerun in Japan and figured out, how it worked better for the players. Not that it matters, because we did it. In case we didn't make that clear, we probably should have. But, hey, we fucking did it. We beat Ibaraki.
Yeah.
We got all...
10 cards for everybody.
Well, it was 10 trillion HP, I think, on the last day. Quote-unquote day.
It was a lot.
It was a fucking lot, but it kept going down, and everybody got their 10 quartz. And the server has the satisfaction. We did it without saving damage, but with 2 more BP. So yeah, though, it
was important.
It's very important. But yeah, so that we kept, I think, our original sense of achievement. Every time we do a raid now, we can look back and be like, oh, this might suck, but you know what doesn't? It's not going to suck as bad as the first time we did this.
Yep.
Which I think is, like, at every point, promotions about the English version, which is still, like, on social media, is still technically marketed as, not even North America, it's FGO US, was, we are going to preserve the original Japanese-style experience. Which is, I think, why they're why events and stuff are still paced out that way, and so on. And obviously, some people are like, oh, we have concerns. Oh, what if the Japanese server closes? They're not going to keep open the U.S. servers. Well, guess what? They're not going to keep open the U.S. servers either if they go as fast as, like, Korea, because it's the U.S. Nobody's gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
They're going to see it as a cash grab, which it kind of is, but it's a different culture about mobile games. Like, just see how big of a fuss stuff like Battlefront 2 caused. Like, that several loot box related things have caused, like, especially in Europe, have caused, like, investigations about regulation.
Yep.
You know, like, we have a very different attitude about what we think is fair and proper about micro, which is different to how most of the other Asian countries. But yeah, so I think they did the quality of life just because they probably thought, like, it's easier and just the event doesn't necessarily change, it just runs smoother.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a little increase, like, the extra drops from King go from, like, 1 to, like, 4 Lotuses. So it was clearly like a mathematical calculation was like, okay, clearly this wasn't right the first time. So that is important when you do have a chance to go back and fix something that is wrong, basically. But yeah, no, the event's good. Everybody was like, maybe it's just lowered expectations. Everybody was like, oh, this is gonna be hellish, you're gonna hate yourself. I'm like, oh, it's not too bad here. Could be worse. I thought the last one was more hellish. That's all we had for initial thoughts. You know, obviously when we get to part 2, maybe we'll change our tunes, but, yeah, events are easy. Heck, I'm having a good time in the event in Girls Frontline. I'm gonna get that fucking 5-7. By the way, I mentioned another gacha game that means, ooh, we had a beep.
Well, I don't have any alcohol, but if we're gonna talk about Girls Frontline for a quick minute, I actually spent money on it. I've spent $20 on it. It's got me. It's got its hooks in me. Now I can never leave it, ever.
I spent 99 cents.
Oh, Burns here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what that beep was.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to get edited out because I didn't write it down now and there's no fucking way I'm going to find it later. But Burn has showed up halfway through the episode.
Whoops.
To join us. But yeah, no. Girls Frontline. It's good. That is a drink queue. And like I said, I spent 99 cents because I got some extra gems and I got a free FAL out of it. Which, now that I've gotten several 5 stars, maybe I shouldn't. Actually, this is a good thing. I was thinking about mentioning this later, but this is a good segue, I think, because Voice has asked us to collaborate with him, maybe. We're going to work out the final details, but I think he said that he announced he was thinking about this type of video, something to do with, like, event servants. So that kind of got me thinking about event servants. So hopefully that'll come out okay. But it made me think about how, God, welfares are so great in FGO compared to some other games, like, because you can get event bonus servants in Girls Frontline, but you only ever get 1, which actually kind of sucks compared to randomly rolling them. Because, oh boy, that's just all cores, all dummy cores you have to spend. I have been slowly dummy coring my 5 stars, because I think I have like half a dozen now. And, it's rough. It's a lot of fucking cores. And you really need those cores because, raw leveling doesn't mean jack shit once you get past a certain point. If you're, like, at level 40, but you're not demi-cored twice, demi-linked twice, it sucks. Anyway, that's enough. That's our hot 5 minutes on Girls Frontline.
I said, when we actually launch our Slice of Life series, expect us to spend, like, a lot more time on it.
Yeah, we will probably carve out a regular segment for how we do in Girls Frontline. Also, just follow us on Twitter, because guess what? You get gems for tweeting your T-dolls at regular intervals, basically. So we do that a lot whenever I roll something interesting.
I do it so I can post it on Discord and be all like, check this shit out!
That's also a reason, but also gems.
Gems.
Though really, the sharing mechanic is just, it's as easy as taking a screenshot. So, alright, let's jump into an informative free talk segment. Woo! Yeah, okay, so we are about actually halfway through the episode, so let's go ahead and jump this in. And let's give our lovely newish segment a spin. We call this So You Didn't Get That 5-star. Which I just realized now technically is probably a Captain America meme reference. But I think we scripted the segment before that got popular.
Probably.
But yeah, so, it's Li Shuwen edition. We last did this with Zero Order when we talked about 100 Faces, or 100 Personas in US version, and Assassin Emiya. So now we're going to talk about Li Shuwen. Because Shuwen is a story-locked SR Lancer, and he did not have a rate up before this, which means your chances of rolling him were slim. Honestly, like I said, a lot of story locks are kind of questionable. This one especially is weird. But let's run down his stats. So he's a story locked SR Lancer. He's got a single target arts NP. Did some research. He's got decent SR stats. He's well-rounded. Pretty typical areas for a Lancer. Lancer Alter, another story lock, is technically a bit better than him in terms of like attack and HP, just a smidge. Smidge better NP gain on attack, same on defense. And basically, Shuwen's kit is primarily centered on crits or NP spam. Between his 3 skills, he can both sure hit and pierce invulnerable. He can increase his critical strength and his star gather, and then he's got an increase in arts performance, which he has an arts NP, obviously helps him out. And then his second skill also gives him 1 turn of evade. Not as good as multiple hits, but still, 1 turn evade. Really helpful. Then his NP ignores defense bonuses, it decreases the enemy's defense, and that is a moderate instant death chance. By the way, that moderate chance is 80% at 500% charge, so it's not going to happen with regularity. Just think about it this way. How often does Skahawk actually proc? And she's got 10% more at 100% charge, and then 20% more at 500%. And then she gets an NP interlude, which actually makes that chance slightly better. The 500% isn't better, but the steps before that are. And she still don't do that a lot.
No, she don't.
Though I will point out that his NP does have the same damage multiplier as hers, which is pretty cool. But, yeah, no, he's not going to instant kill a lot of things. That's the cherry on top. The real point is the, like, 900% damage multiplier. Now, I haven't used him a whole lot, but I'm assuming this based on the raw numbers. His NP gen on attack is lowered as a result of his arts NP and the fact that he has an arts enhancement skill. So they don't want to NP spam too much, and it is decidedly lower than other Lancers. So he will probably need help to get started, but he should get a decent refund. He has 2 quick, 2 arts, and a buster card, so he should be okay at generating NP on like an NP arts chain. But given that, Lucky, you even yourself said that Skahawk doesn't always have great NP gen, and she's got about a few percentiles more than him per hit, he's going to be a little sluggish. Much like Kiritsugu, we talked about him last time we did this segment. And his only passive is magic resistance, and it's low, so don't count on that. So basically, looking at everything, all in all, he's a good single-target Lancer if you don't have one. He probably needs support to fire his NP the first time, but he's got an emergency evade button. He's got good skill percentiles, like his first skill, which is sure hit and also crit strength up. It starts at 50% crit up, and then it goes to 100% crit up, so, yeah, big crits. And he can actually dodge both pesky evades and invincibles all on his own. No need for CE support. And his quick cards actually have 1 more hit than Skahawk's, so hey. Snapped and I did a thumbs up. Alright. Lucky, have you used Li Shuwen at all in like supports?
What?
I said, have you used Li Shuwen at all in like supports?
I've used him a couple times. Actually, I just finished. I'm using him on a run right now. Yeah, that MP gain is definitely an issue. As I said, I'm still trying to get my bearings back after Rashomon because my sense of damage has been thrown completely out of whack.
Yes, it's much like you said before we started rolling that it was like Saber Wars, and I know that feel. When I went from 200 to 300k rule breakers back down to like 20k rule breakers.
Like I'm a little like.
Though, also, I wouldn't notice anything
because
I haven't been using a lot of high damage servants yet.
So I'm just trying to get back into the sense, but he seems alright. Like, I haven't rolled him, so I don't know what he's like, but other people have put him up there, and I don't know, I feel like his cards, I don't know, something about his cards, I never seem to get the right combination with them. Ever.
Yeah. Alright, well, I think that's all our free talk topics. So if we want this episode to be longer, we're definitely going to have to say some nonsense now. Was there something I said we could talk about more as like a free talk topic? Whatever. We didn't write it down. It's not a huge deal. Oh, actually, no. I do want to remember. I remember something I wanted to mention. We've been joking about a lot of the. We personally have been joking a lot about a little bit of the ruffled feathers about the server, which appears to have blown over by now. I guess even the subreddit got fed up with it. I think that actually some of that saber rattling and torches and pitchforking started on 4chan and kind of migrated on Reddit as to be like more visible, but then obviously that meant there was a lot of like people suddenly coming in and boosting these topics super high and stuff like that. So I think the either the mods got fed up with it, or even though they explicitly tuned up their automod system, enough people were like, "Oh God, get this shit out of here." They're spamming this topic. But
Again, I don't go on Reddit a lot,
yeah.
so I don't know.
You probably didn't notice. I noticed it. There were a couple days where it was like, you would refresh the page and there would be like one or two new NA, St. Quartz, Apples, look at all these Asian servers topics. Or a topic about how those topics were super important and vitally necessary because you have to make a whole nother fucking topic to tell about how these other topics are important. But Aniplex actually did like I think they call it like an after work stream. They did a chill, like they did some farming and stuff. Albert was there. I didn't tune into the stream myself because I was busy. But there's some excellent screen caps of him in our Discord you can find. Where he's like, I think he's in like a blanket or something. I was told that he said that he had slept at the office and was still at work. He wasn't... Other people there were off work. He technically wasn't off work, so that's a real hard-working hamster in the industry. But when asked about stuff like quality of life, they said that stuff was coming and so on. And they're working on some of those other stuff. There are definitely more quality of life updates planned this year, which I could have fucking told you. But people like to ask. I'm like, yes, no, they're definitely going to do it. The thing is... Because we've talked about this, right? Like, yeah, okay, they're a business, but also they do need to, as some people pointed out, we've been a chart-topping game before, though that could just be that mobile games aren't as big here as they are in Japan, because, like we said, we're not doing as big as the Japanese server, or even some of the other servers have done in the same time frame. But, one thing about business is marketing is, I like to say this, a deep, dark magic that people sometimes like to get into, and marketing makes certain demands at points. Mm-hmm. Now you have to have a social media program, which is why they do the dumb Facebook things, which technically I think we missed. We got a quote-unquote commemorative gift, but that was 3 St. Quartz, which would, even though we did not hit the likes or shares. So hopefully they just ditch the pretense, or switch to Twitter or something. I don't think they're going to not give us free quartz in some amounts, but, they could improve on that a little, as we've said.
I'm pretty sure if there's ever a chance where we don't actually get the free quartz, someone's going to fucking riot.
Well, yeah, Japan is... I don't think Japanese events have ever not done, like, a little present on top of usually the maintenance, so, like, it's...
Yeah.
And about this point, that increases to usually, like, 10 quartz for each event, so... Well, yeah, no, that would be something to be a little upset about. And obviously, I'm sure they know that, because they have been contacted, because everybody's like, you gotta contact them, you gotta have these, pages on the front, these threads on the front page of Reddit, etc. So I'm sure they know that there was some unrest for a hot minute. But, like I said, marketing is important. That's why we get the dumb social media campaigns, which may or may not actually matter, since they gave us the quartz anyway. And, hey, okay, we weren't happy that they basically held off an extra couple of days to announce the Jolter event at a panel, but yes, that's a big marketing move to, come see our panel, and we'll have this big announcement kind of thing. And we have a first anniversary coming up later this month. And we got a downloads event coming up later this month. Hey, guess what?
Oh, boy.
Corporate is not gonna fucking let you just drop a big announcement like quality of life changes or any other bonuses out of nowhere. Like, you can't just throw those out there. It's got to be attached to a thing, and you got to have assets for it, and you got to have you got to have the webpage built to display that this is what's changing with graphics that are in the actual English game, which means you got to have all the code ready and everything. Like, it's a whole thing. So, like, yes, no, calm your tits. They're gonna do some of the quality of life changes. Obviously, some of it isn't when we wanted it necessarily. Though I think, like you said, like, people are after the back button, and that was a feature they only introduced recently in JP, and God knows if that version of the software they're working with, they can make that work with our version of the software.
That's going to take a couple guys and a couple computers and doing a lot of coding.
Also, like, a lot of people are, but the Chinese server has subtitles. Yeah, the Chinese server is run by a different company.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that if Delightworks wants to do it for us, that means they have to either create it from wholesale again, or they gotta, like, run over to the Chinese server and be like, hey, can you give us that code? And then they gotta make that work for our version of the game, which is different from the Chinese version. Like, it's not even in, like, language, but in, like, coding versions and iterations. Software is a complex process, guys. I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that it can be quite a big deal to make different versions of stuff work, and you cannot just pop the code from something out and slap it in another one and expect it to work perfectly. At the very least, there needs to be
You
several
literally-
runs of testing, because then otherwise you get big goofs where you gotta close the fucking servers, and those are always bad.
You guys want to see what it actually was like in JP? Yeah, let's rush things out a bit.
Yeah, let's rush things out. Let's cause a big display bug where you can lose all your CEs or whatever, and then we have to shut down for like 16 hours and give everybody a fuck ton of quartz for free. I mean, if you weren't bugged, you were probably happy that you got free quartz, but were you happy that you couldn't play the game? It's always a balancing act. So yeah, it's a little thing that came up that I wanted to throw out there. That no, they're still around. They're busy people, and obviously, if Aniplex USA really does have a small, like, full-time employee pool, which they seem to, though people are throwing the number 3 around a lot. I'm pretty sure that's from a couple of years ago, and I'm also pretty sure that's not how that works. Like, even if they only have 3 full-time employees, there's probably some more people involved at the part-time level guys, or as contractors. I mean, technically, we run this quote-unquote business at, like, 2 people, but we're also very small. We make, like, 1 video a day. Well, we don't actually make 1 video a day. If you want us to
put out more videos, let us know.
Yeah, we can maybe do that. Especially if you support us on Patreon. There you go. There it is. You knew what I was going to say.
I mean, like, all I got, like, I can sit down on my computer and play games and talk all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've just been recording in, like, a couple-hour bursts because I'm not quite sure if I'm doing things right.
No, it's
like my Bioshock one apparently it's too quiet, so I'm like,
a little quiet.
Okay. Yeah, so
which is always a thing. Like, God knows, there was like a couple of streams of way back when I started doing this, like full time-ish. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put serious effort into my YouTube channel now. Before this was even Studio Maker, it was just me. There were a couple of streams I did of Life is Strange where I didn't get my audio double checked, so. Like, the first one, I think, particularly, there's, like, no audio on my end at all. Which is bad, because you missed a lot of fucking jokes I made. But, yeah, no. Like, it's a learning process. But, anyway, they're not... Even if they're that small on paper, they're not actually that small. Like, there's a system built around those full-time employees that needs to be fed and maintained. Because that's, they actually do business. That's why I'm sure, they gotta pay the off-site localization team who's actually doing the translators who are actually doing the translating and pass that to the localizers, etc. But, they hear you. They're trying. They're doing some stuff. I think they understand they've got some shortcomings, but at the same time, I'm sure there's not necessarily a lot they can do about it, like, instantly. It's very hard to make instant change. Alright, so that killed, like, 5 to 10 minutes. Let's, my voice is squeaking a little. I've been talking too much. I should have wrote more bullet points than Lucky had to read.
yeah, no, too bad. Rip.
Yeah, rip. That's the reason why I don't record super long videos all at once, is because my voice will fucking die. I usually do like 20 to 30 minute chunks, and then take a break in. But yeah, so here's a big thing. It's time for our CE spotlight. We delayed this a couple extra weeks just to make the content right, but now's a good time. So surprising nobody, probably, Halloween Princess won by a landslide. Probably for that art. By
It is
Blessed
good civilization.
Blessed Angel of Angels, our true Lord and Savior, Redrop. The person who produced such wonders as Dangerous Beast, Golden Captures the Carp.
What's the
Street
Nightingale
Chocolate,
one?
Trick or Treatment, Caldea Beach Volleyball, and Gentle Affection. So, lots of real good shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Redrop has also tweeted out some art stuff at times. So, they're good civ. But the effect of Halloween Princess, and this, by the way, was the theme was event CEs. So, this is in the event shop and also in the drops for the Pumpkin Castle event, the first Halloween event. And it features Itis View. And the effect is increase your NP strength by 15%, 20% max. And increase your NP, or start your battle with NP charge at 30%, 50% max. So that was the theme. This is one of those 50% NP charges, which means most NP batteries can top you off eventually. It also gives you a max of 1,000 attack and 1,500 health, so pretty good. It's very key to a lot of sweep strats, like, a Tesla or a Drake equipped with this sort of thing can self-charge with Pioneer of the Stars and Sweep. You could also stick it on, like, Golden, and he can juice himself up and then smash in. You don't have to equip it on Sanzo, but you can at her start. Because she starts at 50 and goes all the way to 80, so you can use lower NP charges. But obviously, hey, guess what? You're using her for her NP too, a lot like Golan, so that's a great way to start with your boss killer. And it's just I think it's a great CE. I've been using it almost religiously since I got all 5 copies and Max broke it. Lucky, I assume you use it a lot too.
I have it. I don't use it a lot because I'm always switching through things. As I usually use a pretty high servant count for my point cost. But
That's
I have
very
definitely when you need to hit a little extra hard with that MP and you don't have like some like event CEs to worry about. Definitely useful.
Very useful. So yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot else to talk about Halloween Princess. It's pretty cool. If you don't have your copy, because obviously it's an event CE, I think there are a couple cases where you can get it later, like out of rewards and stuff, but most importantly, there's going to be a rerun of the first Halloween later this year, so keep your eye out. You can score your copies, because like I said, it's very useful. It's one of the first one of these types of CEs, and just that freaking NP strength, and then the charge is just, it's on point.
So, real quick, let me read out the lore real quick. A terrifying demoness who appears each night in your dreams is the costume that a princess of a winter castle wears for her party. It seems she has mistaken spooky with sexy.
Typical for Halloween. Hopefully people have seen that meme. Just dresses sexy everything for Halloween.
Succubus Ire is good civilization.
And she's got like little like plush toy looking
of all the people important to her.
Victoria, Ilya, Kiritsugu. Oh, also we should say it is an event CE, so it gives you extra candle drops. Now that's super important.
Oh, I just realized Kiritsugu is a fucking vampire.
Oh, is he?
It's a fang. That's where he has a pumpkin on her head, and Ilya has a petite devil.
Which is her version of CE.
Yep.
Which is infinitely more likely to get you arrested. Let's also point out our next run. We're going to do another CE one, because we did servants several times in a row, so let's do another CE run. And remember to answer this poll, click on the little I icon, little letter I, in the corner of your YouTube video. Should pop out a sidebar with the poll. So I came up with a slightly interesting theme about NPs. So this week, or however many weeks it takes us to complete it, please select between Heaven's Feel, Black Grail, and Prismacosmos.
I like Homunculi. I like Homunculi.
Hopefully you can sense my theme here. They're all related to NPs and also Grails. And so that'll be, I think, an interesting discussion to have to talk about these, because, compared to, like, Kaleidoscope or Fragments, they're not super talked about. And then everybody always talks about how, I don't have Formal Craft, I don't have Limited Zero, etc. So I think these are, like, slightly less talked about. Black Grail has a little punch, definitely, because of reasons. But, yeah, I figured this will be a good opportunity to pull a vote from that. So let's see, where are we at? Well, we're about an hour. We can probably wrap up.
Alright.
Oh, I feel like our meme of the week got deleted somehow. Did you change your mind about that?
I don't know. No? Question mark?
Oh, no, you wrote it down in the wrong spot.
Oh, that's why.
Haha. Natscale. Lucky, do you want to go ahead and go for this?
I'll take over for a little bit. So our meme of the week, Astolfo is truly the complete package of gay. In order to get the full-blown gay, you need to get him at MP5. Then the gayness will be with you.
You can recharge your gay. Basically, there was, in reference to the fact that I was pseudo-spooked. It wasn't a full spook because there wasn't a writer on Raid Up, but it was definitely just a no fan for Astolfo just fucking showed up in the middle of my video. I was like, what? What's going on here? there was a lot of Astafel posting in our Discord, and this is one of many quotes. I believe this is a voice quote originally. Or did you say it first? You two were definitely discussing it. I think it went through several iterations between the two of you.
Yeah. I don't know. It appeared in our Discord.
Yes.
I could go look it up. I'm not.
I think this specific phrasing was you, now that I think about it. But like I said, this was... Several people bounced this back and forth.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. So it was just,
Now,
don't forget to buy our Astafel shirt. And possibly pillow. Or phone case.
So we're gonna go into master feedback here, and we're gonna make this a bit more somber of a note. We have to say it. It's come to our attention that one of our Patreons is making a pledge, but pulling out before the payment can go through.
So I
now,
should
we
specify
understand that
before we
things
go
come
on,
up
I should say that specifically the reason why we kind of decided to turn this into a topic because it's happened a couple times, and it's specifically on the last day of the month they drop.
Yeah.
Which is just before the payment would be collected.
Yeah. Now, we understand things come up, and you can't always make your pledge, but this is quite literally, if you basically drop your payment and then try to rejoin, like immediately after the payment cycle, this is quite literally stealing and quite disappointing to us. It's a breach of trust. Now, we are not naming names, we don't want to start anything, and we don't know the circumstances of why they did it. But they have 2 strikes already, and I'm sure they know exactly who they are.
Yeah. I specifically said, when we were thinking about discussing this topic on air, I was like, we don't want to start a witch hunt or anything. Like, we're not here to throw our fan base at anybody. We're just talking to you, our audience, about a serious issue.
Yes. Now, if for whatever reason the patron isn't your cup of tea and you feel like pulling out, you can do so with our blessing. There's an exit survey that you can fill out to tell us like why you're doing this, or something you don't agree with, or something you'd like to see changed before you pledge. And we'd appreciate it if you fill that out so we can move forward and work to improve. The Patreon is basically a way for you to take care of us so we can in turn take care of you.
Yes, we deeply appreciate all of our patrons. Especially when they pay us. But yeah, like I said, the exit survey is really important. That's always make sure if you feel like you're going to get out to just say why and let us know, because otherwise we have no information. There's nothing for us. It's just, somebody is gone this day. We don't get any feedback, so without it, it's like, we don't fucking know. Although, also, I will point out, somebody actually said that they didn't necessarily were able to support us on Patreon, but they wondered if they had some other way to get us. We do actually have an old, well, not super old, but you know what I mean. In internet terms, it's old. A direct PayPal me link that was in the description of a lot of our older videos. Nobody ever really took us up on that, so I stopped using it when we switched to trying to generate a Patreon directly, but that's... You could find it, or if you want to donate that way, just give us a buzz on like Discord or in the comments or something, and I can throw that link at you if you're interested in it. Another great way to support us directly in a one-time fashion is, like we said earlier, we joked about to buy merch. That's just a good way to get a few bucks to us. And we love and appreciate all of you for listening. And we extra appreciate our patrons, but also, I will say this, regardless of any shenanigans or anything going on, the end of the month when the Patreon payments roll through is always a very stressful time for me, because there's a lot of numbers that wiggle around and change, and as payments are processed and stuff, and then eventually it settles out and the money goes places to us. And then I feel better about myself. But it's just, it's a stressful period, and we want it to not be stressful for us, but we also want it to not be stressful for you. Do you think we've talked about how much we love them enough? He laughs, but we joke, but also we care.
We do.
I think we've said that a lot. I gotta be honest. I know our sub count did increase quite a bit over the last couple weeks as we jumped rapidly towards 300. I do hope that unlike one of our recent listeners who also backed us on Patreon, who has been literally going through our entire backlog. Shout out to you, sir, and I hope you're having a fun time at work with us as your companions, but that's an undertaking. But I hope that people get that a lot of this is our character, because we are technically entertainers. This is an entertainment show. So, well, hey, nobody doesn't like money, I think. The rampant shilling is definitely a caricature. And I can tell you for sure, if we were in a room, just me and you, I would probably rather die than just hit up somebody for money like that. But on the show, it works as a joke.
Yeah.
And also, another good point, if you have any thoughts about, like, merch you want, or, like we said before, you have thoughts on any of the levels of the Patreon, go ahead and let us know, because that's all flexible. That's all from you guys, our audience anyway, so obviously if you have thoughts on it, we kind of want to, you know, work around you. Like I said, you're going to take care of us, so we want to take care of you.
Oh, yeah. And
then someday we're going to launch the waifu tier, and then we're really going to take care of you.
Oh, God.
Oh, right. A waifu tier is probably just a joke.
Probably. I guarantee you, if someone actually says, no, I'll pay for the waifu tier, Omega's going to come out with something immediate.
Oh, almost assuredly. Like I said, nobody doesn't love money.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable joking about it now, but if somebody comes at me and it's like, I'll fucking do it. Should we remind people of what the waifu tier joke even is? I don't think we've talked about it for a while.
Why not?
Basically, it was an extremely nonsense idea I came up with, where above our whale tier, we would have, like, at like $30 or more, it would be the quote-unquote waifu tier. You'd get a special identifier on our Discord. You'd get an even more private, exclusive, you know, hangout with us. We'll probably, like, send an exclusive shirt, maybe, or something like that. But the real kicker was, like, we'd write quote-unquote love letters, and I said that I would physically write out a letter and send it to you, because guess what? At, you know, like, $30 or more a month, I can buy a shitload of postcards and send them out regularly. So that's our joke, that we will give you the genuine experience if you would back us at the quote-unquote waifu tier. And like I said, nobody seems to have taken it super serious yet, so it's just a joke. Probably. Allegedly, to say. Alright, well, I think that has brought us to the end of our show. We had some serious notes, and then we came back with some not-so-serious notes. Because that's what we are. We're serious until we're not. We're the other way around.
We're a roller coaster of emotion.
Yeah, I'm all about roller coasters. Actually, I'm not. I'm not sure if I really enjoy roller coasters. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this show up. Next time, there will definitely have been that stream. Yeah, that's like on a Wednesday. So there will definitely have been that stream, which, would be about FGO stuff. Sorry, I had to burp in the middle of my talk there. Hopefully that didn't...
Good job.
But yeah, so that'll be another... That I'm sure will be a big thing, because they talk about how they're going to talk about a new event, and obviously we're also probably going to talk about Extella Link.
Yeah, gimme.
Because we like Extella. So there'll be that. There'll probably be more Journey to the West. I don't know if the first part will be over and we'll switch to the second part by then. Maybe. That'll technically be more.
How is that decided? Is it just like at a certain date it opens, or you have to
it's at a certain date that it'll open. Some stuff is only available to you if you've cleared all the story chapters, but it's only after a certain date that it actually fires up. I think that's like after a week point. So I think it should have started by then. So maybe we'll be suffering in a week. Who knows? Be sure to let us know how much you suffer in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. You can leave a dislike too. We actually got a few dislikes on our previous video, which ran a little longer. But if you do genuinely dislike, and not just for beams, do let us know why. Because otherwise we really just have absolutely no idea why you did it, and it's completely meaningless to us. Much like no exit survey, it's just meaningless feedback. It's nothing. And guess what? Loads of people tell us they love longer content, so if you don't, you're gonna have to let us know explicitly, because it's hard to get a measure otherwise. Also, you can give that feedback to us directly on our Discord. That link is in the description. Jeez, wow. Ooh. It's late, guys. It's a little late.
I believe in you, Omega. Believe in me.
That link is
in
the description, so you can hit us up there and
drilling
regular feedback from us, and maybe get some interaction with some topics, get some fun early news and stuff, And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. We're always trying to get that count up, and it's a great way to keep track of our videos. Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications, even if you're already subscribed, because otherwise you don't necessarily get notified when we make videos, because YouTube insists on wiggling things, turning knobs, and hitting buttons. God, why would you do that?
Secretly hitting button.
Yeah, sometimes they don't tell you when they hit buttons, which is that's the real pain in the butt. We will always tell you when we're about to hit a button. And of course, as we mentioned before, you can support us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and in audio format for as little as $1 a month. Lots of other goodies, Discord integrations, stuff like that. Our eternal love and friendship.
Friendship!
For everyone.
I'll be your friend. I'm friendly with everybody in the Discord.
I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I just think about it for a hot second, but I think that's right. And so, we've come to the end of
Except for
What's
Camper. Camper's my victim.
Poor Camper. Well, I can't be too upset at him, or too sympathetic to him, because he's a victim of your posts of lovely lady legs. So,
yeah.
I mean, is it really that bad? That's the question we leave to you, dear listeners. Is it really that bad? Like he says no.
Oh, one last thing.
Oh, God, he's gonna make it go on extra long.
Yeah, I am. So, Fate-related, the latest episode of Today's Menu with the Emmy Family has come out, and you should watch it so you can die of the feels, like I have.
Yeah, it's also important. We'll maybe talk about that if we ever remember to record that show we make that nobody watches about anime.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.